Hi guys, Dr. Drwendydearborne here with another tutorial from Food Beyond Its Nutrition. Well guys, welcome, and I hope you find this tutorial beneficial. Over the last couple of days, several people, and I say over the last couple of days, actually over the last 588 days, people have been asking me, how do you stay on track with doing plant-based eating? How do you stay on track? Many people said that they've given it a try and they can't last, or they actually don't like the recipes that they're creating, and the family's in an uproar and all sorts of things. And believe me, I feel your pain, I understand, which is why I decided to do this brief tutorial to speak about this. Be sure to like, subscribe and hit the notification button, and every time I upload a tutorial, video, webinar, recipe, anything uploaded like this, you'll be notified directly in your inbox. So guys, let's talk about this for a minute. Okay, you want to go plant-based. You've tried plant-based and it hasn't worked. You've tried plant-based and your family are really hating on you. All the things that have occurred to you or have happened to you on your journey has happened to many people. So first and foremost, I would say kudos to you for wanting to attempt to go plant-based. One of the first things that I have to say is this: it's the mindset. And if you are an omnivore or you eat meat, if you are a flexitarian, if you are a pescatarian, and if you are a vegetarian that actually eats eggs, milk and cheese, you may need to understand that whatever you are going to prepare is not going to taste remotely like dairy products, milk, cheese, butter. It's not going to taste like eggs. It's not going to taste like chicken or any other poultry. It's not going to taste like pork, whether cured as in ham and or not. It's not going to taste like ribs. It's not going to taste like beef, whichever cut you're talking about, whether it be prime rib, whether you're talking about chuck steak, whether you're talking about stewing beef. It's not going to taste like any of that. It's not going to taste like it's not going to taste like shrimp, fried, stewed, boiled, grilled. It's not going to taste like crab, lobster, salmon, any of those things. It is not going to taste like that, and that's number one. Don't try to recreate a meat dish, a dish that's primarily meat, out of vegetables. That's something that I can safely say I've never really done. I have never really done, because it doesn't work. Chicken is chicken is chicken. They say, they give somebody something to eat, it's an unknown meat, and they're like, oh, it tastes like chicken. Well, no, it doesn't. It tastes like unknown meat. But that being said, that's number one. Don't think that what is going to appear on your plate is going to taste like meat, because it's not. Okay? Number two, it's really important to know your personal taste profile. And knowing your personal taste profile will actually help you to create foods that are palatable to you. Foods that are interesting to you and interesting enough for you to keep wanting to eat them. Cooking not only vegetarian, but cooking a plant-based diet, or eating a plant-based diet and creating plant-based recipes requires sometimes many different herbs and seasonings, and sometimes it just requires salt. It all depends on what it is that you are wanting to create. So knowing what taste, do I like my food to be spicy as in hot? Do I like spices like cardamom and cumin and turmeric or hildi and all these different spices that are out there, you know, star anise and cloves and cinnamon. Do I require those tastes in my food? Is that what I need so that I can have that sense of satiety when I eat something? So it's really important to understand, you know, do I like food to be hot as in pepper? Do I need the spice as in salt and all the different spices that are out there? Oregano, marjoram, thyme, all these different spices that are out there. Do I require that? Do I need the food to be salty? And I'm not just talking about cooking salt, table salt, sea salt, smoked salt, black salt. I'm not just talking about the sodium, that. I'm talking about there are foods that are naturally salty like celery. Do I require that kind of salty flavor in the food when I eat it? Do I need my food to be sweet? And most foods have a natural sweetness. That's why if you sprinkle a little bit of salt on something, it can really pow, it can pop. The natural sweetness can pop. So do I require sweetness from my food? I mean, if you think of an array of, if you have ever had homegrown anything, from corn to tomatoes to cucumbers, onions, pepper, even garlic, you know, if you've ever had homegrown and it's been a good crop, it's been a good growing season, that food is sweet. I'll never forget my parents, they had an allotment, and I really feel that in this country, in this great vast country of the United States, people really should have allotments. And allotments are a plot of land. It's a small plot of land that the government supply you with. You pay for it, and you pay something really minimal. It's minuscule. And you farm it. You farm it. It might be the size of your current den. It might be the size of your bathroom, the smallest bathroom in your home. And I'm talking about the plot of land. It might be the size of your entire house, you know, the slab that your house sits on. But it's a plot of land, and you farm it. You farm it. It's called an allotment. I don't know if they have as many as they used to, but they used to have a lot of them when I was coming up. And people would grow their own carrots, corn, vegetables, peas, you name it, they'd grow it. You know, garlic, spring onions, spring greens, which are like collard greens and blah, blah. They'd grow it all. Cabbage, Brussels sprouts, parsnips, swede, as you call it, rutabagas, you name it, turnips, all sorts of things. They'd grow these things, and they'd grow them to harvest them, to eat them. Well, where I was going with this is I was talking about sweetness, and my parents, one year, they grew some corn. And I remember my mother phoning me, and she was saying to me, you know, the corn's really good. And at that time, we were stationed at RAF Lakenheath. And so she said she's going to pop 2 ears of corn in the mail. And I'm like, really? You gonna really mail me some corn? That corn was so sweet. Now, I didn't cook it. I thinned mine off, rinsed it off, and bit into it. It was juicy. I can taste it now. It was sweet. So vegetables can be really sweet. Is this something that you like? You know, sour. Sour is lemon, vinegar, sourdough bread, fermented foods. Is this something that you like? Pickles, is this something that you like? You really need to understand what it is that makes food say, when you put it in your mouth. Yeah? It's so important. And when you have that down, this will help you to create recipes that work for you. And/or if you cook, tweak a recipe so it works for you. Now, as I may have said, I've created a webinar that's actually devoted to identifying your taste profile. And my husband and myself, our taste profiles are different. But because I understand his taste profile and I understand my taste profile, it makes it easier for me to cook a meal that satisfies both of us. Otherwise, you'll find that in your household, and you might have found this anyway, you've got kids, you've got your husband, and then there's you. And maybe it's just you and your husband. And you really find that you're cooking stuff so that, he's happy and you're just going with the flow. And it's all about the taste profile. It's all about your taste profile. Your taste profile also includes textural things. How does that taste? How does it taste? Now, I like crunchy, or should I say crispy food, because there's a difference between crunchy and crispy. I like crispy food. I also like sour, lemon, lime, kimchi, this sort of stuff. My husband likes sweet, like barbecue, sweet barbecue. He likes, he's not too into sweet and sour sauce, whereas I like sweet and sour sauce because I can get that sour note. But he likes honey, this honey walnut shrimp that I do. He really loves some honey walnut shrimp, or anything else that I do with honey and/or palm sugar, and this. He's really into that. I like the sour. So understanding that, I can actually cook where both of our taste buds are satisfied. I like pepper, like chili peppers. I'll be vibing on some chili peppers. And so I like sour, I like hot and salty. And so we're able to, or I'm able to combine the two. So where I'm going with this is, when you actually know what it is that vibes for you, and then you find out what vibes for your family, it makes it so much easier. If I didn't say this at the beginning, which I think I did, it's really important to understand that when you're cooking a vegetable is sometimes a very neutral in flavor. Yeah, you tasted it and you know it's a carrot, but it's just a carrot. But when you actually braise a carrot and you add, say, you braise some carrots, you cut them about yay big, maybe a couple of inches big, and they need to be nice and thick, and you braise them, and you braise it, and then you put it into a sauce that has been created with some garlic, maybe with some miso, some mushrooms if you eat mushrooms. You add a little chives to that, and you put the braised carrots, and the braising liquid for the carrots is nothing more than maybe a teaspoon of white wine, a tablespoon of white wine, and some vegetarian sauce. Some vegetarian bouillon. Yeah? And you braise it until they're just tender. And then you create this whole other sauce that you kind of put them in and serve it in. And you serve that with rice and some other vegetables, but that's the star of the show. That's the main meal. Today we're having braised carrots in a mushroom, garlic, and miso gravy. Don't that sound good? I know Tracy don't like that because she ain't like carrots, but I know she'd eat it if I cooked it. But that being said, it's about changing your mindset in regard to what is the main meal. There are many countries, there are many Asiatic countries, and this includes the Orient, But there are many Asiatic countries that vegetables is what they eat. Meat and or fish, they're not sort of like the main focus of what they're eating. Many countries will use meat, fish as a condiment. Like back in the day, you know, you were cooking a pot of beans, you'd only need a little bit of salt pork or a little piece of smoked meat to put in there to flavor. It's about flavor. It's used as a condiment. It's used to enhance. So when you are thinking about going plant-based, recognize that the main focus of the meal, you need a focal point. You can choose whatever it is. You can stir fry some cauliflower with some cashew nuts, onions, bell peppers. And if you don't eat bell peppers and onions, stir fry it with what works for you. Create a gravy or a sauce to go with it, or just, you know, put some teriyaki sauce on it. Guys, it's all about rethinking how you're doing things. I mentioned the, you know, Asia and the Orient, so the Asiatic world. Explore that. And I'm telling you guys, explore that. You might not like curry. Okay, fine. That being said, many Asiatic countries, they don't eat curry. Explore it. Find out what works for you. If you enjoy Chinese food, and understand that there are different provinces, Szechuan, that's not what I'm feeling. I'm definitely more of the Cantonese style of Chinese food. Actually, that's my preference. So recognize that if you like Chinese food, that there are different regions that produce food, and they have different tastes. Szechuan, they have this pepper. Their food's it's got this spicy kick. And actually that pepper, it can actually numb. It's got a numbing effect, okay? And it's not because it's so hot, it numbs. I don't know what it is, it's got a numbing effect. Although that being said, I'm fine with that, but that's not the province that I gravitate towards. You have, say, French cuisine. You have, say, the south of France, which is very rustic. It's different to Paris and how Parisians create their food. South of France, beautiful, simplistic, but flavorful food. And the same with Italy. You've got Sicilian style. You've got, you know, the Roman style. It's the same all over. That being said, explore different countries. Explore the Orient. If you've watched me cook, much of my cooking comes from that side of the world. And primarily because they eat a lot of vegetarian food. They eat a lot of plant-based food. So explore, find out what works for you. Find out what works for you in that regard. And make it something that bring your family along. Okay, today we're gonna do Greek. We're gonna do a vegetarian moussaka. Well, I don't like eggplant, so that won't kind of work for me. But we're gonna do a vegetarian moussaka, and take it from there. The other thing is, when embarking on a plant-based journey, if this is something that you are not going to do, commit to as a full-time, hey, this is it. If you don't want what I'm cooking, you can go to Burger King and you can have it your way. The king will serve you however you want it to be served. So if you're not actually going to commit to this for 100%, what I would say to you is pick one day out of a week one day out of a week. You choose that day, and it needs to be a day where you can devote your time and attention to what you're doing, and make that be the one day a week. And you let everybody know, this is the day we're doing plant-based. I've got a girlfriend currently, she does meatless Mondays, and I think her hubby's cool like that, you know, he's on board. But her boys, judging by what I see on Facebook, I don't kind of think that her boys are on board with this. I don't think they're feeling it, because I know she does meatless Monday, and then she does seafood Friday, and the boys ain't into seafood either. So the poor pumpkins, my pumpkins, they're catching it. You know, 2 days out of the week, they're catching it. But the other 5, it's their world. It's their world. Because she throws down. She can throw down. Okay, she can throw down. But that being said, choose a day and or a specific meal. Say, Friday nights is going to be whole food. Going to be plant-based. It's going to be plant-based. And make it that. And then explore, as I said, explore the different cuisines. For as much as I cook, and I may have said this at the front end of the video, because God knows this is like take 5,000. For as much as I cook, when I stepped onto this journey, 89 days ago, I was really in my box. Stepping onto this journey has forced me to create some of the things that I like as a plant-based. Take, for instance, the national dish for me, Jamaican, ackee and saltfish. Well, it was about creating this dish without the saltfish, yeah? And I wasn't quite sure how it was going to taste. This is heritage food we're talking about, national dish. It was absolutely off the chain. And you don't even miss it. I didn't even miss it, because I realized it was the pimento and the thyme and the scallion and the peppers and the Scotch bonnet pepper. That's what I was after. It wasn't the saltfish. It wasn't even remotely the saltfish and the creaminess of the ackee. That's what I was looking for. And so, again, guys, it's about taking what you do and putting a twist on it. And putting a twist on it. And, of course, using flavors that you like. So, number 1, you need to change your mindset. Number 2, you really need to know what your taste profile is all about, including the crunch. And like I said, I've created a video for that you'll be able to watch here shortly. The video's done. So a webinar, and the webinar's done. So you'll be able to watch that here shortly. It's about also understanding the profile of your family. This too is about going outside of your box and looking at different cuisines. I said the Asiatic world because they truly are into vegetarian and vegetable cooking. They have some vegetables, I'm like, what is that? Right? They got some, it's like, whoa, what is that? Okay? So there's all this different stuff, all these different cuisines. There's all these different flavors that you can try. So go outside of your box. Step outside of your box. Figure out, do you like curry? Do you like Thai food? Do you like Chinese food? Figure out which province you like. Do you like northern Thai food? Do you like southern Thai food? Figure out what you like. Do you like Thai food that's cooked with a lot of coconut milk? That'd be me. And then they have a different region, and guys, forgive me, they've got a different region, and they don't really use a lot of coconut milk. A lot of their food, to me, has a spin-off of Indian food. It's like an amalgamation of Thai and Indian food. And then you have Chinese, Indochina. It's the same thing. So guys, figure out what it is that you like. Go outside the box. Figure out what it is, what taste you're looking for. And again, I look to countries where they cook a lot of vegetables. Vegetables are king. That is the staple. That's the mainstay on the table. You look on the table and there's just an array of vegetables and it's like, oh my God, and it tastes good. Choose a day. Choose a day. If you've been trying to do this and you say, I've tried to do this and I only lasted 3 days, Miss G, and or you purchased a plant-based or a vegetarian cookbook, and the family are like, really? And or I can't hang with this. I don't know what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. Choose a day and make sure that you plan. Make sure that you plan. And I say this because it's not something that's normal to you. It's not normal. It's not natural to you. It's not like, I can create a bolognese sauce or a meat sauce to go over, pasta, and you can do that with your eyes shut. Okay? No, now you're going to need to create a sauce to go over pasta. It needs to taste just as flavorful, but it doesn't have meat. What do you need to do to accomplish that? So make sure that you prepare. You can't just, and I'm going to use this as an example, you can't just take the meat out of meat sauce and expect that it will taste okay. That's not going to work. Your peeps, if you're feeding this to your family, they're going to be very upset. You're going to have to, as we say, zhuzh it up a little bit to add flavor. And again, if you know your profile, if you know your taste profile and the taste profile of everybody around you, you'll be able to do that with flying colors. I know that when I went on this journey, there were many of my friends, they were like, oh, no. What happened? Why are you doing this to us? And it's really funny because, subsequently, pre-COVID at any rate, people have come and eaten. They're like, no, this is really good. No, like, are you telling me this is just vegetables? This is really good. It can be off the chain. I'm talking about a serious bon appetit. Come on, let's eat. Serious, off the chain. But it's about, once again, guys, at the risk of repeating myself ad nauseum, you have to know the flavors that you like. You have to know whether, okay, I'm going to back this up. You have Thanksgiving. You do the traditional thing. You got your turkey. You have your sides, whatever they may be. It might be cabbage. You might have some carrots. You might have greens, cornbread, dressing, mashed potatoes, dirty rice, all sorts of things. Whatever it is that your family traditionally does. Invariably, you do have your turkey, bam. You do have some sort of potato dish, yeah, and some gravy. And for some people, dressing. How many people say, hey, it's all about the gravy and the potatoes, the gravy and the mashed potatoes. It's all about the potatoes and the gravy. It's all about the gravy and the greens. It's all about the gravy and the cornbread. It's all about, guys, listen to yourself. You're not talking about the turkey. You're not even remotely talking about the turkey. You're talking about the gravy and everything else. And just so you know, you can cook a mean dirty rice. using, I'm glad I was going to bring this up, faux meat. You can cook a mean dirty rice using ground plant-based meat. You can cook a dirty rice. I cooked some dirty rice with that. Then people didn't even know what they were eating. They didn't even, they couldn't even tell. Couldn't tell. Okay, guys? So it's about how you flavor the food. Now, faux meats. One of the things that you can do to support yourself as you transition into plant-based is check out some of the faux meats that they have out there. Now, Impossible, and I'm just saying, then I'm not being sponsored by them, but or Beyond Meat. Impossible do a really nice ground faux meat. So do Beyond Meat. They're another company. They do a nice ground like ground beef sort of thing. That can work really well. Out of the two, I prefer the Impossible. The Beyond has this little after kick for me sometimes, and I'm not feeling that. Also, you've got what's it called? Morning Star. I love their meat. Their meat lovers burger, the one that goes on the grill. That's my favorite, all-time favorite. So there are things out there that can help you. As I'm a pescatarian, I don't do their faux fish. I don't do anybody's kind of faux fish and or shrimp. That doesn't work for me. But you can definitely go the faux meat route. And that means you're doing plant-based. And much of it you'd cook up the same way that you'd cook your meat if you're doing a stewed meat. You know, you can make a lasagna. Actually, I made a shepherd's pie using the Beyond Meat or Impossible Meat, one or the other. I think it was the Beyond Meat. Look, that stuff was off the chain. You couldn't even tell that it wasn't ground beef. You couldn't tell. You know, I've actually served that to people who are vegan. And I had a couple of people, they kind of put their fork down and they looked at me and they're like, I told you I don't eat meat. I don't eat meat. And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't eat it either. And they're kind of looking at me like, yeah, well, what's this? But, you know, they're at my dining table, so, you know, they got to act a little certain way. And I'm like, it's not meat. I would never, ever, ever feed anybody anything that they didn't eat. Ever. And they're like, but what is this? And I tell them, it's about the preparation. You also need to make sure that you invest in some better than bouillon. Better than bouillon. Okay, guys? The vegetable bouillon. The no base chicken bouillon. The beef bouillon. I just cracked open a jar of my garlic. It's like a garlic paste. That stuff is off the chain. All right? So you need to, guys, invest in some of these things so that you can bring flavor and taste to your food. You know, I mean, get some black bean paste. And I'm talking about the run-of-the-mill. You can get this in your local grocery store. I'm not talking about you having to go to Chinatown or China Plaza or Gerrard Street or, you know, Wynyip or so. I'm not talking about that. Okay? I'm talking about your regular Piggly Wiggly, Publix, Albertsons. I don't think Rayleigh's around anymore. You know, Smith's, that sort of thing. Okay, Kroger's. Run-of-the-mill, Walmart. Target, run-of-the-mill. You can go in there and pick this up off the shelf. Get some black garlic and black bean sauce. See how that works. You know, stir fry some cabbage with some carrots and, you know, onions and bell peppers and all of that. And I'm saying that because these are some of the things that I've created and that I'll be showing you. Those videos, those videos, they're being uploaded as we speak. So there is hope out there. I would say choose a day. Have in your mind it's not going to taste like meat. Tell everybody today's dinner is meatless. You don't like it, Burger King, the king will make it your way. Explore, come outside your box and explore your world and what it is that you will eat. Explore the different flavors and tastes. Know what your taste profile is. And guys, purchase different things that can help you bring your vegetables to the forefront. So hopefully in all of this, I've given you some information that can assist and support you in getting started. Biggie, it's vegetables. You're not eating meat. It's not going to taste like meat. But can it be flavorful? Yeah. Chicken curry. Make curried potatoes, curried chickpeas and potatoes, curried corn, curried avocado. Curry is a vehicle to carry something else, not just chicken, beef, lamb, or what have you. Curry, tofu. You like sweet and sour. Doesn't have to be sweet and sour pork balls, sweet and sour chicken balls. Do sweet and sour vegetable balls. Make some vegetable balls and put those in the sweet and sour sauce. Because guys, it's the sweet and sour that you're after. I can guarantee that. Unless of course you're part of the pit grill people who, hey, it's not about the barbecue sauce, it's about the meat. Unless you're on that sector. It's the sauce that you're looking for. But anyway guys, please be sure to sign up for the webinar. All of this is free. And the webinar, we're going to talk about how to identify your taste profile. I also have a couple of tutorials out there that talk about what the different the dietary lifestyles are. Food types, like vegan, vegetarian, and there are 2 types of vegetarians, or 3 types of vegetarians actually. Pescatarianism and flexitarianism. And I talk about what whole food is and what plant-based, and right now I'm talking about plant-based. Whole food is a whole different animal. So guys, be sure to check those out. And also I want you to understand that food goes so far beyond the nutritional value that we're being taught. Food is something that is essential to your being. It's essential to you being alive. It's not just about you keeping body and soul together. You can have a horrendous diet and keep body and soul together. That's easy. You just need to be able to eat something that will sustain cell reproduction. Food, going beyond its nutritional value, has the ability to assist and support you in being able to manifest through the power of your spoken word and or prayer and or affirmation, whichever sets right for you, but has the ability for you to manifest through those powers that which you say that you want. Yes, food does that and so much more. Food keeps you balanced. Food keeps you healthy. Food keeps you connected to your chosen deity. Food goes so far beyond, the calories and the this and the that, the vitamins and this and that. So far beyond that, guys. Food is an intrinsic part of who you are. You want to know how powerful food is? You eat food and you assimilate it. Okay guys, you got that? You eat food and you assimilate it. It becomes you. Not it becomes a part of you. It becomes you. That's how major food is in our lives. That's the role it plays in our lives. But I'm going to get off that soapbox. I'm Dr. Wendy Dearborne. Again, guys, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And every time I upload a tutorial, a webinar, a cooking demonstration, or anything pertaining to you and the laws of attraction, you and food and the laws of attraction, it will be delivered to your notification box. Until next time, guys, eat well, or should I say, bon appetit. Come on, guys, let's eat. Peace.